Hello, here is another video from Simply Studies. These videos help you understand the basics. For great scores, press subscribe now and visit our website.
Verbal reasoning, sentence correction. We know in the verbal section of GMAT, one gets 3 different types of questions: reading comprehension, sentence correction, and critical reasoning. In sentence correction, the objective is to test mastery over formal written English. The questions in sentence correction follow a certain pattern. So you'll see a piece of text. That piece of text can be a long sentence or more than one sentence. Some part of it or sometimes the whole sentence will be underlined, and then there will be 5 answer choices. The answer choices are possible replacements of the underlined part of the text. So those answer choices you can just plug in the underlined section. And the first answer choice will be the same as the original text. So if the original text is okay, then we'll take A. Now what the test taker is supposed to do? He has to find out which of the answer choice is with no grammatical mistake and is written with the best structure. It means that correct grammar is used, word choice is appropriate, sentence correction is the best one, there is no ambiguity, meaning is clear to the reader, and then there is no redundancy. It means only those words are used, as many words are used as are essentially required. Now we'll discuss a set of steps that make it very easy to answer the sentence correction questions. First of all, read the given sentence carefully, critically, and try to make a basic outline, because there will be many words, there will be just verbose terms which don't have anything to do with answering the questions. The question, yes, so we don't have to read it again and again because it wastes our time. We'll do the example and then you'll see how we outline the basic structure. Then note down if there is any error or if there is any redundancy. There will always be some obvious errors which we can identify. We can say, okay, these ones are there in the sentence. Sometimes the sentence will be correct, or sometimes it will not be visible as such. But that doesn't mean that this sentence is correct. Maybe there is a better sentence in the choices. Then we should think of appropriate changes. When we are reading it, we'll find out there is an error, and then we can also think of how those errors can be rectified, what words can be used, or how it can be used or could have been used to make the sentence correct. Now there are 5 choices. We'll scan the choices vertically. It means we'll not read the whole sentence, we'll just look them vertically. For example, if we are looking at the first word or the first phrase, we'll look at the first word of all those 5 choices and look at the similarities between them and make them in groups. What will happen? We can find out if there's the same problem in those. And then we have been given a writing pad, write A, B, C, D, E vertically, and then eliminate those choices which will now be a set, which they have the same grammatical error as we found in the first sentence. Okay? In most cases, you will be just left with 2 or 3 choices to choose from. Now read the remaining choices again for differences. If there's any more differences, find out if there's a better word that can be used, which is there in one of the choices, if there is a better structure or any redundancy that doesn't need to be there. So you'll be left with just one answer choice. In the end, whatever you have selected, plug it in the real sentence and then read the whole sentence again critically to find out if there is any inconsistency or ambiguity. Let's do one example and then it will be easier for us to understand. Now this is the passage in bold. Let's read it. Adverse drug effects range from the trivial, like nausea or dry mouth, to the serious, for example, massive gastrointestinal bleeding or thromboembolism, and some drugs can be lethal. Therefore, an effective system for the detection of adverse drug effects is an important component of the healthcare system of any advanced nation. Now, this is a big passage, of course, in case of sentence correction. But if you notice, only about 2 lines are underlined. This is what is need to be looked for. All the others are okay. And the 5 choices will be replacements of this underlined portion. So we'll do it step by step. The first step is reading carefully and outlining it. So if we try to outline this sentence, if we make a smaller sentence out of that, so we can say, okay, something range from, instead of saying adverse drug effects, we just say that's yes, something range from the trivial, like, again, don't have to give the example, like something, to the serious, for example, something, and then some drugs can be lethal, therefore again something. Okay, so now we know what's the structure of the sentence. It's comparatively easier to see. Now in the second one, we have to find out if there's a problem. So we can notice, yes, in the original sentence it is from the trivial to the serious, yes. So we can see a pattern here. Then there is like nausea or dry mouth, and the serious one is, for example, massive gastrointestinal bleeding. Now this like and, for example, these two should be same, they are not different. Okay, that's a problem with parallel construction. So we have seen a problem here in the given sentence. Okay, so in the correct sentence, these problems should not be there. So we can see, okay, now we'll scan vertically. We'll look at all the 5 choices that are given to us. So you can see A starts with like, C starts with like, and the other 3 start with G. So it means B, D, E starts with EG, and the other 2, A, C, start with like. So there's 2 sets of sentences. Okay, and if we further look at these, the first one starts with like, nausea or dry mouth, to the serious, for example, massive. So this like and for example, as we have discussed before, doesn't go together. They should be same. So we can eliminate this choice A, and for the same reason we can eliminate C, and we can eliminate E, because in all of these, this is the same problem that's repeated with different sets of words. Okay, so A, C, E are eliminated. Now we just have to look after B and D, and we have written A, B, C, D, E. We have eliminated A, C, E, and now we'll compare B and D. Now in B and D, we notice that in D, what's happening? For example, nausea or dry mouth, and the serious, for example, massive. What is that? It doesn't make sense, because before that it was from the trivial. So from the trivial it should be to the serious. It means D choice is not correct also, and it can also be eliminated. We are just left with the last choice, that's B, and we'll replace it and we'll place it in the original sentence, and then we'll read it and see if it makes sense. So now it becomes adverse drug effects range from the trivial, for example, nausea or dry mouth, to the serious, for example, massive gastrointestinal bleeding or thromboembolism, and some drugs can be lethal. Therefore, an effective system for the detection of adverse drug effects is an important component of the healthcare system of any advanced nation. So we see yes, critically we have read it and there is no problem. So we finally take the correct answer choice B. Okay, thank you.